Mike Whaley, what's up, man? All right, so it's back to testing equipment again. Last stream I did when I got the $70 printer, which is over there in pieces. StreamLabs ate up all my CPU, and it turned it into a slideshow. So we're going to try regular old OBS. But I did manage to get the notifications in from StreamLabs. Shalom, what's up? There's not many peeps here yet, man. I just got going. I don't know if many peeps are going to show up. I missed pretty much all of Walter's attempt at morning coffee this morning before the geniuses drilled through his DSL connection down the road. So we're testing this again, but this time using regular StreamLabs instead of or using regular OBS instead of StreamLabs OBS, and seeing if we can get a stable stream going. Because I need to get back to making some more content. I'm going to lose the subscribers I have if I don't post anything, and if the only things I post are testing again, they're not going to want to hang around for that either. So I got to get this figured out. But I think I've made some headway. Maybe so far so good. Cool. Well, let's switch over to screen share and maybe we'll play around a little bit while testing stuff. Do some Blender playing around. So I showed you guys the dumpster I'd been working on the other day, which I printed the lids for it. There. Let's see here. So there you can see the dumpster. I printed the lids. I'm going to print the body if I can get the X1 to cooperate. I'm just having no good luck at all right now. And I got a really busy week coming up. CMA Fest is getting ready to kick off in Nashville, and which means I will be pretty much unavailable the entire week of CMA Fest. So if I can get all this stuff working the way it's supposed to, then I'll be set and ready to go for when I'm not. Mike. Other Mike. Never let the machines win, Mike. Right now the machines are kicking my butt, man. They're winning the battle and so far the war. This computer with the streaming stuff is still fighting me, but I will get it sorted one way or another. If I got to buy some more equipment for it, I got to buy some more equipment for it. I'm not sure what the bottleneck is. If it's a stream setting issue somewhere in what I had on StreamLabs, so now I'm trying OBS. Yeah, we have Mike and Mike as opposed to Mike and Ike. It is Hump Day, which means it is my music stream tonight, 8 o'clock Central Time on Facebook Live. Walter, do you have connection again, man, or are you still hotspotting it? You're right, Mike and Ike candies are pretty good. Still cell phone. Oh, man. I hope they don't have you down for a long time, but with an auger that size, that was a huge auger. What were they digging to put in, do you know? That thing was huge. So anybody who didn't catch it, Walter had to run down the street and show us why his internet connection went out today. And some geniuses were digging in the ground that hadn't been marked. Apparently they'd called 811 like they were supposed to, but they did not wait until the location had been marked. And apparently right after they went ahead and stuck the auger in the ground anyway and cut the cable for Walter's internet, the marking guy showed up. I imagine he was like, seriously, guys? Really? Setting a power pole. Yeah, it was a big auger. But I guess down there you guys probably have to put a lot of reinforcement around poles and stuff like that so they don't just get the ground doesn't get soft and they fall over. So yeah, there's I was playing around. There's a garbage dumpster I designed, just playing around. Yeah, oversized for collapsing. Yeah, I thought about that after you said power pole. I was like, yeah, I bet you do have to go way oversized because it will collapse back in as fast as you dig it. Scalda! What's going on, man? Haven't chatted with you in a while. Haven't seen you in the Discord. Been busy? I just got off Discord with me and Fernando Pena. We're in there talking for a long time. I just got off Discord. And I was like, I gotta test regular OBS and see if it is more agreeable than the StreamLabs OBS. Busy with family. I got it. I got you. So, test a stream. I'll play around on Blender while I do it, and we'll see how things go. I did move a bunch of my files over, which I needed to do anyway. That's never good. StreamLabs OBS was taking every ounce of CPU that was available. When I did the stream last time, the last stream was me bringing home that $70 printer. And I tried streaming it, and after so much time in the stream, it just kept climbing on CPU usage until it literally ate up every ounce of it. I pulled up Task Manager, and StreamLabs was taking like 83% CPU usage. So, gonna have to give this some time and see if it's doing the same thing. I don't know if it's maybe an encoder setting or something. I don't know, maybe. But I mean, I've tested my internet speed test this morning, and even while watching Print and Play James's stream, I was getting 120 up and 120 down. Yeah, 120 down and 250 up. So that should be plenty of speed for streaming. So I don't know, man. I'm at my wit's end. And Fernando's here. We had a nice chat over in Discord for a while. Let me see. What encoder is it using? Settings. It says Encoder Software X264. So Software X264 is what it has listed as the encoder. Well, that's what this OBS is using. I don't know what StreamLabs one was using. And I imagine that's something that can't be changed during a stream. Which actually, I don't even have the option for another encoder. Ha ha ha. Rockin' your Fire TV. You've got unlimited data on that phone there, right, Walter? Cool. Apocalypse Survivor, what's going on, man? Welcome to another me torturing myself trying to figure out what's not working on my streams. Red light. What's going on, man? So under that setting for encoder, does it have any other options? Let me see. File settings. Output. There's a checkbox to enable advanced encoder settings. It would definitely not be an advanced class Apocalypse Survivor. I'm not advanced in any way. I am still a total noob. And apparently still a total noob with this streaming thing because I must have the wrong encoders and all that. And so Scald is trying to school me. Yeah, there's a drop-down list, but the drop-down list is empty. Over here. That's all that's there. Yes, Red Light Blender is free. It is an open source 3D modeling program. It also can do video editing. You can do sculpting, like Mudbox or what's the other one? ZBrush. Change output mode to. Encoder preset higher equals less CPU. Enforce streaming service bitrate limits enabled. So it's set it very fast right now. So it said the higher you set it, the less CPU usage. Which every time I do that, I click on that, I can't see my. Aha! Now that's all grayed out. It didn't let me click on anything there. That may be because I'm streaming presently. This is why I need your guys' help. No, I don't think it would matter how fast the CPU is. When I was using StreamLabs last time, it just chewed the whole thing up. When I pulled it up, it was using 83% of the CPU, and so the CPU is at 100%. And if anything would drop off a little bit, StreamLabs would eat it up as soon as it dropped it off. So now I'm trying regular OBS instead of StreamLabs OBS. which I've got better video cards actually in my old a better video card in my old computer, which I need to take both of these offline and swap them. Now that the old computer is not going to be doing anything as video intensive. It's not a lot better. It's a 512 meg card instead of a 256 meg card. But yeah, what's in here is in this one right now, this one I'm using is a 256 meg video card. It's a 8600 NVIDIA 8600 GT GeForce 8600 GT, and then I've got a 9500 GS in the old computer. Which would double my video RAM, but it still would only be 512. So you think that's it, Scalda? It's just I need to get a hold of a better graphics card? Joey making a guest appearance in the background there. He's heading downstairs. Yeah, I probably should have bought a graphics card instead of a $70 printer, but I couldn't pass on the $70 printer. Let me see. Pull up on the other computer here so I don't. it would be Mike, never let the machines win Mike. We got so many Mikes in here right now. We got Mike Whaley, we got Red Light Mike, and we got Never Let the Machines Win Mike. Or 3 mics. So I can't just say Mike, because I'd be like, which one are you talking to? All right, Walter. We'll catch you later, man. Hopefully they get your internet stuff sorted out soon, and we'll be back to morning coffee. Yeah, the $70 printer would be an even better investment if it didn't need a new hot end right away. But Walter says he's got a hot end for it that he's going to send me. That I guess he had left over when he turned his A8 into the Country Bow, or stripped it for parts to build the Country Bow. He's also sending me the front acrylic frame that's cracked on that one. Awesome, man. Yeah, I'll check that out. In fact, I have a phone and I can check it out right now. Oh, first I gotta see. I got text messages I didn't know I had. Oh, okay, cool. My son's sending me stuff he's catching in Pokemon Go while he's visiting Grandpa. So, Discord. You need a card that will give you this option in the encoder, NVENC-H264. Okay. me Google that. I don't think it has a specific make. It's got an Asus Asus motherboard in it though. It's got an Asus motherboard and it is running a PCI Express NVIDIA 8600 GT. GeForce 8600. Chris Riley, what's going on, man? I'm just fighting with every machine I got right now. I got two printers both of them giving me problems, and fighting with the computer. But I'm going to figure it all out. It's like never let the machines win. Mike says, never let the machines win, and they will not win. I will win. It just may take a little time, especially since today starts a 13-day in a row of having shows. 16 shows in 13 days, so I probably won't do a whole lot of work on anything aside from playing shows. Are you at work right now, Chris? Sneaking away to Slack a little, watch the stream? Look at the board when you can. Let me know what Asus model is. I looked that up the other day, see if it's still in my recent search. Yeah, it's the Asus A55BM Plus. So Asus A55BM Plus. That is a motherboard that's in there. Yeah, these fingertips are pretty chewed up already. They're nothing but callous. They're hard as a rock. Which, thank you so much again, Red Light Mike, for sending this, because I wouldn't even be where I'm at thus far without it. So I appreciate it. If all I am is a graphics card away, then great. That's awesome. Yeah, the biggest card I've got right now in my house is a 512 meg. I've got there's two graphics cards. Only one's a PCI Express though, in the old computer, and I think the PCI Express one is the GeForce, the NVIDIA GeForce 9500 GS. So it's only a marginal upgrade over the 8600 GT that's in the new computer. Like I said, I probably won't have much time to mess with anything over the next 13 days anyway. My live stream tonight starts the stretch of the 16 shows in 13 days. Yeah, it's grayed out. I don't know if it's because I'm streaming right now and I can't. So maybe after I stop the stream, I can give that a go. but it's grayed out and won't let me change. Yeah, the two people most responsible for me having what I have right now are in this chat right now. Chris Riley for the X1, which is giving me a little bit of problem right now. It is randomly, the control box randomly just turns off. There's still power to the power brick, but the control box loses power. So I don't know if it's, I haven't tracked down yet whether it's a short in the cord between the power brick and the control box, or if it's a short where the plug is on the control box. So that's on the to-do list over there on the X1. And then the A8 needs a new hot end. Walter's sending me one. I'll have to buy a, I'm going to buy myself a soldering iron and give that a whirl. And then we were figuring out why StreamLabs ate up all my CPU, and Scalda says it's because my encoder is software based. So I need, I guess, a heavier duty graphics card so that I can do GPU based encoding and take the strain off the CPU. And if I'm ever in a position to help you guys out with anything, absolutely anything, let me know. Like, I won't even say that the design of the secret project for Chris was anything at all towards beginning to repay the kindness of the X1. Yeah, I think that might be because let me just turn it on here. We'll troubleshoot a couple things at the same time. So if it's not doing it now. Because I think where I was having it shut off on me this morning was when I would wiggle the cord right next to this little thing here. And so I got it to where it was on, and I just zip tied it in place, and it got through the rest of the print. So, or it got through the print I was trying to print this morning. So I don't know if that's where the short is, and if so, I just probably need to get myself another power brick. Because I don't seem to be having the problem wiggling it now and it going off. So maybe it is purely at the power brick, and I just need to get another one. I'll switch that back off. I'm not printing anything right now. Yeah, I'm super excited about the secret project. I can't wait to see it done, man. I want to see it done and being used. That's what I want to see. I want to see it survive the actual use, and hopefully hopefully my design works out structurally. Yeah, so like I said, it seems to have stayed on and let me finish printing the dumpster lids for the 1/18 scale dumpster I just designed and plan on putting on Thingiverse. But I need to modify the hinge piece there a little bit because it doesn't want to print thick enough. Yeah, it let me get through that print. But yeah, it had been going, it would go, and no one's touching the printer, no one's touching the table the printer's on, anything, and it would just shut off. And the light would still be on the power brick when it'd do it. So I knew there was power getting to the brick. And so then it would just leave the hot end sitting on the part, melting it, burning it up. And I'd have to go ahead and come over, switch the power off, move the Z axis up a little bit, and then take the part off the bed and start over. And so I was wiggling it around before I started it a second time, and I seemed to notice when I'd wiggle it right next to that little block on the plug, whatever that is. I'd wiggle that around a little bit. That's where the power would cut in and out. And so I just zip tied it in place with a little bit of pressure on it. It seems to let it stay on. But I know that's a very short-term solution. The Tronxy X1, Joe Paddock, that Chris Riley so generously donated to me so that I could start printing my stuff, which I need to. I've got a bunch of stuff that needs painted and stuff, but it keeps raining here because we're getting the remnants of that tropical storm that hammered Walter. And it's hard to spray paint in the rain. But yeah, if there's anything I can do for you guys, you know, and it's within my ability and means to do so, let me know. Which, looking out the window right now, it looks like I'm at a break between rain. But it's been raining off and on for the last couple days here. Later, Shom. Thanks for stopping in, man. So yeah, that's where we're at right now with the settings, and I will test once I stop streaming if I can change the output mode there from simple. But right now it's grayed out. Maybe it's grayed out because it's actively streaming and it won't let me do that. But anyway. Brian Vines. 104 in Vegas and clear sky. 104, that's too hot, man. That's too hot. Don't tell me it's a dry heat. I don't care. Dry heat or not. 104 is too hot. Maybe I get a few more years on me and the circulation starts getting bad. The 104 will feel good. But no, not right now. I don't know what the temp is here. It's been cooler because of the rain. I haven't watched, you know, didn't get to watch Morning Coffee today when Walter usually tells us what the whole world's weather is doing. It's 85. And looks like I may have clear skies for the rest of the day. I may get a little spray painting done after I get off here before my music stream tonight. See, I've always lived places where it's hot in the summer and cold in the winter. No escaping either one. So you just about the time you get sick of being cold, you're hot. And then about the time you get sick of being hot, you're cold. And it doesn't seem to be but a week or two in between of each one that feels good. So yeah, I may have a little reprieve from the rain today, so I might actually get a little spray painting done. Because I've been sanding and filling and sanding some more on the truck. This part is essentially done. Front bumper. Seat. So I've been working on it slowly but surely. I like to start something printing, and then once I get the print started, fill and sand and paint. But I haven't been able to start stuff printing and walk away and leave it. I've been having to watch it past couple of days. Sanding for days. That's right, Brian Vine. Sanding for days. I have been sanding for days, and I've got days to go. I couldn't imagine if Joel intended to sand, fill, sand, and finish that 400% open RC car, but I haven't seen or heard anything about that car since the last event he took it to. Joel hasn't been pumping out the same type of videos lately, which honestly I haven't watched them as religiously as I was watching his videos before. And maybe that's because now his videos feel more like a Matter Hackers commercial. I don't know. That's why I said I'm not entirely sold on people having a sponsor for the overall channel. Sponsoring a build is one thing. Although Chris Riley is my sponsor for everything I print on the X1. Everything that gets printed off of that little printer right there is sponsored by Chris's Basement. And I keep this handy and close by so I can show it off. And it's so cool. Magnet and the 2-color print. Very nicely done. Although Walter should have got this one, Chris. It's in Walter's colors, man. Yeah, I've got a metal file cabinet right here next to the desk, and it stays on the front of the metal file cabinet. One of these days, if I ever get around to building, or not building, but printing the all-in-one control box for that thing, where you mount all the controls underneath the actual printer, I want to put Chris's logo on the box. And it'll be the Chris's Basement X1. Oh yeah, absolutely shameless plug for Chris. Anytime and every time. Chris and Walter and Red Light, they have all done absolutely amazing things for me, and their kindness has been out of this world. Yeah, I think so. Never let the machines win, Mike. So many mics in here. And I think the evolution of his channel has made his content a little less for the everyman. I don't know. And you know, that's sad in some ways. I mean, I'm happy for him to be a full-time content creator, and I pull up his videos and let them run on my computer when they come out, but I honestly haven't watched every one of them like from beginning to end like I used to. Thanks, Brad Vines. Yeah, I just threw together the display for this real quick because this is the third time I've set up an OBS, and I'm getting a little lazier in my third attempt. I need to go in and make some new graphics and stuff for it. So yeah, I got lots of stuff I want to do, and it's just a matter of finding time for it and making things work the way that they are, the way I want them to work. I got to get the X1 sorted out, which, like I said, it may just be buying another power adapter for it, which is no big deal. I'm sure I can find those. Probably find one on eBay cheap. 3D print a time machine, right? Yeah, give yourself some more time. I need more time. I always need more time. And then the A-Lunar A8, ANET A8, which is just an ANET A8 that has been rebranded like ComGrow and SaneSmart do with the Creality products. I'm firmly convinced of that. Need to get the new hot end in for it, which Walter is sending me. Get that soldered on. Get that thing printing. When I get that thing printing, I want to print the parts for an AM8 and then ordered the frame to make it an AM8 at some point. And then I've got the conduit all stacked up in the corner over there, which my wife is not happy about, to try to build a Piper, but I was waiting on getting a CR10 to print the printed parts for the Piper. Yeah, and I think Chris, you know, I'm in a, not unique, but I'm in a position where I can openly say that I don't necessarily think it was the best move for his content, just because I'm not in a position where thousands of people are watching my videos and would throw so much hate at me for saying anything negative about Joel, because Joel is Joel's such a likable guy, and his videos, you know, his videos are still good, but I think they were better before he was sponsored by Matter Hackers. And you know, again, that's my opinion. That's my opinion, and it's not anything negative to Joel. It's not anything negative really to Matter Hackers. It just, the videos don't feel the same. They don't feel the same. They don't feel as genuine as they did before. And you know, but I know he needs that sponsorship in order to do it as his full-time job. And so you know, it's that double-edged sword. You know, I guess it's the same thing that you know, Tom's videos have changed a lot since he stopped reviewing printers. He doesn't put out as many anymore. They are still very technical and very good when he puts them out, but they're coming out a little less frequently, and you know, sometimes the reviews of him putting together a printer on a live stream and watching the struggles even somebody as brilliant as he would have with you know, a printer, it was refreshing a little bit. It just kind of lets you know that, hey, you know, I shouldn't feel bad right now that I'm having a little bit of issues with these printers, because Tom, you know, Tom has more knowledge in his pinky about electrical engineering than I have in my whole body. So right, absolutely, Chris. That's a hard road to walk, man. It's a balancing act for sure, and maybe he'll find a sweet spot for it at some point, but right now, like the last several videos he put out, it just felt like an advertisement for Matter Hackers, other than the Bay Area Maker Faire coverage and the video he did with Tom. Everything else just really, it felt like a Matter Hackers commercial, the whole thing. Which, you know, even his Bay Area Maker Faire coverage was sponsored by Matter Hackers. They paid to get him there. Right. I think maybe a more subtle but still effective approach to product placement. No. Not sponsored by Mountain Dew, unless they want to sponsor me. Because I drink lots of Mountain Dew. Well, Baja Blast anyway. I love this stuff. Right, yeah. Exactly, Red Light, yeah. Send you the printers. You can review them. I mean, because I wouldn't mind getting into you know, reviewing machines. But as it stands, I just don't know if I would have the time to do it right. And I don't want to turn into, there's a couple of YouTubers out there that you just know every printer they review is going to be the best 3D printer ever. And I don't watch their videos anymore, because even there's one guy that he built a Tronxy X5S, and he proceeds to tell you all this, and this, and this that's wrong with it. He goes through like a half an hour of telling you all the stuff that's wrong with it. And then at the end of the video, he says, it's the best printer I've ever used. Well, either you've never used a good one, or you're refusing to overall give it a negative review despite all the negative things you had to say about it. There's another guy. He's got a mohawk, cuts open his boxes with a switchblade, and he's all in your face, excited. And every video of every printer is, it's the best printer ever. And I can't, I don't like that. It's just because it's not genuine. Right. I would never, I don't think I'd ever want to do full-time like reviews of printers, like just constantly one after the other. But no, I wouldn't mind reviewing a printer now and again. Yeah, exactly, Brian Vines. Yeah, I forget that dude with the mohawk's name. And he cuts open his boxes with a switchblade. And he opens them on his patio. Takes the printer out on his patio table and then carries it inside and sets it up. I don't know. Maybe maybe that guy could be a little scary with his switchblade. I don't know, but his reviews just come across as very disingenuine. To some degree, so does Reality Check VR, and I like his videos and I like the way he presents them, but he never has anything negative to say about the printer. Mike Whaley, you talking about the guy with the switchblade? And all of his printers are sent to him by GearBest, so they're all cheap Chinese printers, or inexpensive. I don't like the word cheap. Inexpensive Chinese printers, and every one of them he talks about how amazing it is. It's this greatest printer ever, and it's fantastic. And I'm like, I've watched a dozen other reviews on this printer that point out 100 problems with it, and you haven't pointed out one of them. So either you got cherry-picked a great unit that doesn't have any of these problems, or you're just flat out pandering to the people that sent it to you, which I don't think does a service to the manufacturer. I don't think it does a service to the distributor. I think what you're doing is you're talking people into buying something that if they're not happy with and they expect to be happy with it, it's going to leave a bad taste in their mouth and they're going to walk away. You're going to ruin future business from that customer. You would be much better off to be open and honest with people as far as what your experience was getting the machine from the distributor, and what your experience was in the way it was packed, the assembly process, the setting it up and running your first print with it, and then printing with it over some time and seeing what bugs and hiccups come up along the way, because that is the way the distributor is going to improve their process of shipping and getting the machines to the customers. It's going to improve the manufacturer's process in building the machines and designing things. Maybe they need to go back to the drawing board and redesign something and iterate the design and make it better. And the only way they're going to know they need to make it better is if the people reviewing the machines tell them that. Right. Yeah. Live streams are, especially on printer builds, it's the way to go, because then you see they can't hide the warts. Now, some guys like to focus on nothing but the warts. I know there's a couple reviewers that's all they seem to do is focus on the negatives of a machine, and at some point, that gets old too. Right. Yeah. Exactly, Chris. It's like just hanging out with your friends, and while you put something together and tell them, what's going on with it. If you like it or if you don't like it, and there are certain reviewers that I seem to trust their opinions more. just because they tell you, you know, Angus, he thinks it's funny when there's something that's wrong, and he likes to point it out and tell why it's a problem and why it could be done better and how it could be done better. Which a manufacturer could then in turn take that review video and they could go, okay, well, let's try that. Let's see if that does indeed improve the functionality of our machine, and can we do that and keep it in price point. Right, because I think I've pretty much, everybody that's here, I've encountered you guys because of people's live streams and hanging out on them, and it's awesome, the community and the way that it builds. And there are there are some people that I'm like Walter in the aspect that everybody is my friend until they give me a reason for them not to be, and that's the simple truth. I'll give you the shirt right off my back if you need it, and if I have it to give. And I don't know, I just feel like the community is in general is pretty much all that way, and it's amazing. Like I said, I wouldn't have the X1 sitting over here without Chris. I wouldn't have this computer sitting here that I'm streaming on right now without Red Light. And I hope to someday be able to repay you guys for that. Yeah, do you know how big of a warehouse you would have to have one of every printer? Like, there are so many of them out there, and more just keep coming, man. I've seen, AlphaWise has the U20 coming out now, which is a CR10 clone instead of the CR10S4 clone. It's it's a 300 by 300 by 400. And then the Flying Bear, Angus, one of Angus's favorite companies, because he really hated the Flying Bear Tornado that he reviewed. They got a whole line of new machines that popped up on GearBest. Basement and upstairs and a garage. I wish there was a good place that I could just load up with 3D printers, but if it would take me forever to get the money to load it up with 3D printers. But I've got two now. I'm you're not officially like you don't officially have a problem until you have more than one, right? Oh yeah, that E3D head changing machine is that's next level, man. It's you have 4 and you're waiting on your Mark III. Yeah, I have 2. Only one of them prints, and then hopefully I'll fix that soon. Get the A8 going, and then once I get it going, it'll be time to print some upgrades for it. Maybe print the upgrades to print the printed parts for the AM8, then order the hardware. One to babysit the other. Well, yeah, the way I look at it is you need one functioning at all times to be able to print replacement parts for the other one when it breaks. Yeah, Walter was talking about that on Discord this morning. The Ender 3 is at Banggood right now from the U.S. warehouse. Now it won't ship till June 15th, but for $180. So bang good from the U.S. warehouse, $180, an Ender 3. So yeah, I've got the A8 and the X1, and then I'll get the A8 going, and then hopefully the guy I'm buying the CR10S from gets the new motor put in his van soon, and I can meet him and get a hold of that, because I think once I get a hold of that, that's going to be a game changer for me as far as a printer that can print larger things and a printer that will more reliably let me start a print, walk away, leave it, or go to sleep, go to work, whatever, and let it run. Later, Chris. Thanks for stopping by, man. Always good to see you. I can't wait to see the secret project, man, and I'll be looking forward to that video. So give me some heads up when that's coming. Yeah, I think that's exactly it, Brian Vines. Is it looks like it's basically a direct competitor for the ANET A8, because if you're talking about, it's just, you know, $20-30 more than buying an ANET, and it seems to be a vastly superior machine. It becomes one of those no-brainer decisions. If you were getting ready to buy an ANET, you would just save the 20-30 more bucks and buy yourself a Ender 3. Now I got my A8 for $70, so I can't be mad at it for not being good. And I think most of the problems it has right now are its previous owner's assembly. The hot end that's on it, the thermistor is broke off inside the heat block, and the heat block leaks plastic out the top of it like a sieve. So when Walter sends me that other one, I'll just go buy myself a soldering iron, solder it on, and hopefully be back in business. All right. Well, so the stream has stayed stable and running good. Let's check something real quick. Let's pull up Task Manager. That's okay. '60s and '70s. Yeah, and I think Creality specifically put it on the market because they saw ANET grabbing so much for the A8 being an entry level machine at a cheap price with a decent build volume, and they thought, we can do that, and we can do that better. Because if you can get it within a comparable price point to a machine that's known to have problems, and get the same build volume with less problems, and or even actually a bigger build volume with less problems and a more solid frame, then you win, you know. Hack Monkey, what's going on, man? It's Scott, right? I'm horrible with names unless they're in your username. I try to remember them. I meet so many people in my job. that I can't remember names anymore. Awesome. I got it right. I hear you got an awesome maker coin, man. I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard at least a couple different people talking about it and how cool it was. Which I still need to sit down and take a stab at designing one myself. I'm like, I do all this design stuff, and I haven't even designed a maker coin. What kind of designer am I, right? And I love, Chris sent me one of his maker coins when he sent me the printer. I love this maker coin of Chris's too. This is awesome. And then I have a Fun King 3D maker coin from when I won that roll of IC3D filament, which you can see sitting on top of the shelf over there, on his birthday bash stream. Derek Matthews, what's going on, man? So we're still streaming okay. Everything's going good. I mean, this far in, we're still, I don't even know how far in we are. But no one's told me anything about turning into a slideshow with audio this time around. Okay. That's great. So I guess the stream is working. Yeah, Walter was having a real hard time this morning. And probably going to be a hard time for a few days until they get that. I just don't see him having it back up quickly. Cutting through all that cable with an auger. What do I do with that? Oh, there it is. So what do you guys think? You like the booster rocket look like the Macross jets, or prefer it without? Yeah, if that auger wrapped the cable around it and yanked it, it could have ruined it for hundreds of feet in each direction. So, I mean, they could have the company have to come out and relay cable for a quarter mile. Yeah, I kind of like the Macross style boosters too. Which the jet is one of the things that I will work on getting more complete when I get the CR10, because I'll need the CR10 to print as large as this thing's going to be, because you figure any 1/18 scale jet, you know, you're putting a figure this size in the cockpit, and the cockpit as small as it is, so I mean the jet is going to be huge. And I definitely don't want to try attempting to print that on the X1. I would have to break this thing into like 100 pieces. Oh yeah, someone's going to get in some trouble. That's for sure. I mean, there's definitely got to be some fines involved. Walter swears up and down that, you know, down there that no one's going to care, but I'm like, someone's going to care, because it's going to cost money and time, and someone's going to be upset somewhere. And I mean, they may have called 811, but they didn't wait for the markings to be put down. So I would think legally you're still facing the fine for not waiting for them to mark the lines. Because, I mean, you show up to dig someplace, even if you called 48 hours ahead of time, you get there with your equipment and they don't have the area marked. You can't put the, in their case, auger in the ground. You got to get back on the phone and you need to call 811 again and say, look, we called you guys 48 hours ago. We got a crew out here and time is money and we're wasting both. You need to get someone out here and mark this right now. We need to get this digging done, and we followed the rules. We called you 48 hours ago. But if you didn't follow the rules, if you didn't call 48 hours ago, you can't dig. So either way, I don't know. Right? Yeah. Exactly. You know, if you cleared it and everyone signed off on it, and you find some that someone didn't know was there, okay, well, you you can't be held responsible for that. But Walter said they had called, the guy hadn't shown up, and then right after they ripped into the ground and tore the cables up, the guy that was supposed to mark the area showed up to mark the area and was like, really? What are you guys doing? Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's not as accurate as it should be. So you guys like the Macross style boosters, so keep those with the design moving forward. Which you can see I put the I originally put the landing gear in. I'm going to have to move it back because where it's at, the wheel would come up right there. And if the wheel comes up right there, that's going to be where the pilot is sitting, like where his legs are at. So I need to slide it back so that the wheel comes up and tucks into the body, like underneath his back. So that, like, when the pilot is sitting, the wheel will tuck up in here, in this area. Yeah, and that could be. I mean, you know, I'm sure, you know, they said they called the guy. They'll look back at the records, and if somebody didn't have it marked within 48 hours, there will be some trouble on their end. But there's still no excuse for, if it's not marked, just go ahead and dig it anyway. Yes, yes, Hack Monkey. I'm going to have that hinged so that the landing gear deploys and then gets tucked away. There's going to be an opening canopy. That's just about it as far as functionality is concerned. Everything else is just going to be a solid piece. But I need to design still the back landing gear and cut that in. But before I do that, I need to slide that back, and it's not as easy to slide stuff back on Blender as I would like it to be. So I've got to refill that hole and start over, and probably move the landing gear more back here. And then figure out where I'm mounting the landing gear for back here for the two wheels in the back. Later, Matt Johnson. Thanks for stopping in, man. So yeah, that's the plans with the jet. Is a functional canopy, functional landing gear, 1/18 scale, a design that's totally off the top of my head. so it doesn't look exactly like anything, so I'm not infringing on anybody's copyrights. The only thing that might be a little bit iffy is if they've got, you know, the booster rocket design copyrighted in some way, but that's not necessary for me to print the jet. The boosters aren't. I'd like to include them, but I figure all those third-party companies that are out there, especially like in the Transformers line, there's like, what, 4 or 5 companies making Devastator, and they all look exactly like Devastator, and they seem to be getting away with it. I think as long as the design is not exactly the same, and I think you're all right. But which, you know, like I said, my jet looks nothing like any of the Macross jets, because I didn't even look at a picture when I designed this. It all just came straight out the top of my head. But that's just the way I do stuff. I don't plan stuff out. I just sit down and I start. Like when I designed the dumpster, I know a dumpster's not a complex design at all, but I just did that all off my head, you know. I'm going to put this dumpster on Thingiverse, but I'm in the process of printing it out myself to test some stuff, and the hinge is not thick enough on the lid, so I'm going to have to thicken that up. And I'm going to have to get the X1 to print for a solid 9 hours without stopping in order to print the body of the dumpster. So that's what I'm waiting on right now. And Walter's back. Oh wow, that's fast, man. Really, considering what they did and the kind of damage that they did, if they think they can have you back up by then, that's amazing. Yeah, I think that's it, Hack Monkey. As long as, you know, as long as the design isn't, you know, it's not like I'm pulling up somebody else's design and putting a blueprint on the background of the Blender screen and copying it verbatim. Because, like, you know, my MVS truck, it looks like anybody else. You know, it just looks like an old. It just looks like an old military truck, you know. And I'm sure it's very similar to somebody else's design from back in the day, but it's not exactly like anybody's design. Same thing with the bus. You know, how different can you really make a bus? A bus is a bus. It's, I mean, unless I made it round or something, you know. And then I started turning the modifying the design of the truck to turn it into an MRAP. So, I mean, that's just the truck that's being modified and transformed into an MRAP. And again, it's similar to other MRAPs out there, but not exactly the same. Right, Brian Ryan. A bus is a brick with wheels. I mean, there's only so many different ways you can make it and still have it actually look like a bus. You may be seeing lags because I keep opening new files. If I'd stay on one file long enough. See if the lag corresponds with me opening something. Let me see. Where's the... Did I not get that? I don't know. I did not. It must still be over on the other computer. Crap. Oh, well, that wasn't a very big file. Let's try a bigger one. Did you notice some lag when I opened that? I was just playing Walter. It's okay. Walter's got broad shoulders. He can take it. So, I mean, yeah, this is something that's totally, you know, it's inspired by a real-world vehicle, but looks nothing like the real-world inspiration. I mean, I'm sure you guys can tell by looking at it what real-world vehicle is inspired by. I don't even know what it's called. But I just kind of did a futuristic take on it. Well, it's, you know, like all of my designs, it's a modular vehicle. So it's going to share components. Yes, I do, Red Light. I collect G.I. Joes. Most of my stuff is boxed up in the garage. Save for a few pieces. But like I keep the figures around to test, some of the figures around to test stuff. Which I took pictures of the truck as I was printing it, and I kept taking pictures with the Viper, this Cobra Viper, using it as a reference for scale. And Ron, the Happy Extruder, sent me the funniest thing I've ever had sent to me on Twitter. And it was a short video. He said, "Hey, Tanner, what you hauling in that truck?" And then he panned the camera down, and he was wearing a G.I. Joe hoodie. And he said, "Not on my watch." I laughed so hard. I know, I'm a big geek, but it was funny to me. There's the iterated design, and the first thing I successfully printed using Idea Maker as my slicer. Iterated design for the chair for the guard shack that is on Thingiverse. And I now have the iterated version of the design up on Thingiverse, so anybody who wants to print out a 1/18th scale guard shack, the chair now fits the figures quite nicely. Yeah, there's that toy store there in Kokomo is I've always wanted to go there. They have amazing stuff. Am I having some lag issues? Hey, Don. Yeah, I totally wanted to go to that toy store at some point. I've almost thought about making the drive all the way up there, like a couple times. I'm like, I want to go to that toy store because there's a Cobra jet that I had when I was a kid that that I had to get rid of when we fell on some hard times back when my wife and I first got married. We fell on some hard times, and I had to sell my entire collection from childhood. And there's a few pieces I really miss, and one of the pieces I really miss is the Cobra Night Raven. If you haven't seen it, it basically, it looks like they ripped off the design of an SR-71 Blackbird and just kind of made it dumbed down a little bit for a toy. But anyway, it's huge and it's beautiful, and I would like to have one again if I could get my hands on one. I actually want to see if I can. The modern era figures are taller than the original figures, and the modern era figures do not work in the Night Raven. I would like to get a Night Raven and see if I can 3D model a new cockpit insert for it that would support the modern era figures. Oh, you guys have a new country bar up there. Yeah, the only problem there is I have to pay the guys in my band so much to pull them away from Nashville for a day, because while I may play one show in a day or two, they play 3 and 4 a day with other people. And so in order for me to pull them away from Nashville for a full day, I have to pay them well enough to compensate them for missing 3 or 4 shows. The Big Space 1999 Eagle. I'm not even sure what that is. But I like toys. Oh yeah, I could do that. I can come do the solo acoustic thing if they book that. Maybe on a Tuesday. I usually have Tuesdays off. I can come up on a Tuesday, play a solo acoustic gig, stop at the toy store, and be back down in Nashville in time for my Wednesday stuff. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday stuff. Big Space 1999 Eagle. Let's just do that. Yeah, it says my stream health is in the orange right now. So I don't know if that's a CPU issue. Let's go ahead and close Blender. Let's real quickly. So it's the Big Space 1999 Eagle. Oh, that is cool. That is cool. Yeah, G.I. Joe's 12 inches tall, fuzzy hair. So Cobra, Night Raven. There it is. That was one of my favorite toys when I was a kid. My absolute, just bar none, loved it to death. And I so hated seeing it go when I had to sell my collection. So I've been after another one, but I'd almost kind of like one that, and it's common to see them missing the. It's common to see them missing this piece because it comes out so easy. I would like to see if I can design, 3D model, and 3D print a cockpit insert. See, this holds 2 of the 3 3/4 inch figures. See if I can redesign it to hold at least 1, if not 2, of the 4-inch modern era figures. Yeah, that was one of my favorite childhood toys, and having to sell it to put food on the table for a little while just really killed me. It did. I had that, and I had the USS Flag, which I had bought myself as a child when I mowed lawns for months to get enough money to buy one, and It was huge, 7.5 feet long, and I had that, and I hated getting rid of it too. And now, the flag alone is worth more than I sold my entire collection for. Just a bummer. Did the stream health get any better after I closed Blender? I also had managed to acquire this before I had to sell everything too, which was the Cobra Terror drone. Have it running at 480p. That's better than nothing. My best friend growing up, because we always used to work at Christmas time. We knew we would get me, my best friend, and my I guess 2 best friends, because we all 3 of us ran together all the time, and we played G.I. Joes together. We would arrange it so that we would have a different big wish list item for Christmas every year, and so we would end up with different stuff. That way we'd go over to each other's houses and play with the different play sets, and it was like, you know, tripling what you had access to that way. But my best friend, he got the Defiant, which I never had one of those. And it was really cool. A giant space shuttle. It was huge. There was the original ad for it, the toy ad. Yeah, see what I mean, Mike? The USS flag in the box, $8 grand, and mine, when I sold it, it wasn't still like mint in box, but I still had the original box. All the parts were there. All the instruction manuals were there. The little PA microphone thing worked. There was no yellowing to the plastic whatsoever. And I sold the whole collection, the flag, all my planes, everything, for $1,700 in 2002. And that was the money that my family needed and used to pack up a U-Haul, and my wife and kids head on to St. Louis to stay with my brother-in-law, because we were being evicted from our double-wide trailer. We were being evicted because I was going through some medical stuff at the time and hadn't been working, and so it got ugly for a while, you know. I was going to school, and I had a couple weeks left until I finished my associates, and so I had 2 more weeks to go, when the eviction was basically taking place. So I had sold my entire G.I. Joe collection on eBay, used that money to put them in a U-Haul and pack up all of our stuff, and pay for a couple months worth of storage in a storage shed in St. Louis, and get her and the kids to St. Louis to stay with my brother-in-law. And I stayed behind, and I lived in my van for the first week of it, in a Walmart parking lot while I was going to school, finishing going to school. And then my best friend found out I was doing that, and he about kicked my butt for it, and had me come stay on his couch for the last week. And finished school, and then I drove to St. Louis to join them. And then yeah, it was looking for work, and my wife was pregnant at the time, and everything. It was stressful time of our lives. Yeah, only I was in a van in the Walmart parking lot. I've seen some of their eBay auctions and stuff, man, and their prices are okay. I mean, they're about on point with any vintage toy dealer, because obviously they're trying to profit from purchasing people's collections, and there's a lot of work that goes into it, because you purchase somebody's collection and it's missing parts, then you may have to go to eBay yourself to acquire some of the parts to finish out something that's missing stuff, important stuff, and then turn around and sell it and profit from it. So I get it. I know Sholm said he was a toy dealer for a long time. He was supposed to look and see if he had any Ravens still laying around, because he's still got a bunch of stuff, he said. So, but yeah, I'd like to get a hold of a Night Raven and then see if I can design and print a cockpit for it that will accept the modern era figures. And if I can do that, I think there might even be a market for that, as selling a kit to swap out the cockpit of your Night Raven to accept modern era figures. So it might be a way to make a couple bucks. Yeah, any major life-changing experience, Don, sometimes they're rough, man, but that which does not kill us makes us stronger. Oh yeah, my family owned a sports card shop for 3 years. Um, and we started off, it was 1990 when we started, and we were right there for the boom, man. We had we got a direct dealer distribution deal set up with Topps. So when Stadium Club came out in 1991, we were buying Stadium Club directly from Topps. So when we were buying a Stadium Club cards directly from Topps, they were supposed to retail at like $1.25 a pack, and everybody in town was selling them for like $15 a pack, because they were going through middlemen who were charging them $10 a pack, because they were such a hot commodity. And so I would order them from Topps, and I would get them in 6 cases at a time, and I would open 2 boxes and take out all the, I would make some complete sets, and I would take out the hot star cards, so I'd have them for my cases, display cases, and I'd stick the rest up on the shelf, and I'd sell them at like $8 a pack when everybody else in town was selling between 10 and 15. And I would have the other card stores would send somebody in to buy me out. And I was loving every second of it. I'm like, yeah, you can buy everyone I got. I don't care. I'll just, as soon as you walk out of here and I cash your check, I'll order 6 more cases from Topps. But yeah, G.I. Joes over the years, they were my favorite toys. But I was also into Transformers. Basically anything I played with when I was a kid. Transformers, He-Man, that stuff. There's Sholm. Yeah, it seems to still be going, and we've only had a couple little hiccups where it didn't do so well. So I think regular OBS is less intensive than StreamLabs OBS, and maybe when I get a better graphics card in here, we'll be completely right as rain. Seemed like I started having a little bit of issues there a little bit ago. Let's go to Task Manager now and see where we're at. Which, of course, pulling up Task Manager, I expected things to be a little slow during that, but looks like we're running about 65 to 70% on a consistent basis, which is okay. OBS is in the mid-20s as far as processor usage, which is acceptable. StreamLabs on me that last stream when I opened up Task Manager was like 83%. It was just chewing up every ounce of processor that the processor would let it have. So yeah, I was into G.I. Joe, Transformers were the number 1 and number 2, and then a little bit into He-Man. He-Man was probably the first toy I really got into as a child, but it didn't bear out as well over age. But yeah, I'm still a big toy geek. I love toys, which is funny because none of my kids, none of them, like toys at all. Have no interest. But my grandson loves toys. So I'm like, my grandson, he's like, yeah, as he's gonna be like me. He's gonna like toys. So I've bought him several of the Transformers Rescue Bots Transformers because he's just little. He'll be 4 at the end of June, and so then when I do get to go see him, we'll sit on the floor and play Transformers together. So I feel like I'm passing down my love for a toy that I loved with him. Can't pass down a love of G.I. Joe because Hasbro's not making any G.I. Joe stuff anymore. Sucks. It's messed up. It's one of the longest surviving toy brands there is, and they're just not doing anything with it. I think the cultural climate with war and whatnot has kind of tainted the brand and made it hard to sell. They're gonna have to find a new twist on it. But yeah, Red Light, if you're still there, Kokomo Toys. They post over on histank.com all the time in the forums. One of the guys that works there, and that's where I share my work in progress when I do stuff. So over here on the works in progress, which I haven't posted anything to it in a while. But yeah, that's where I was sharing the stuff as I 3D printed it, and I'm trying to get more of the HisTank community interested in 3D printing, the customizers that are on there, and trying to drag them along and say, come on, this is fun, this is cool, let's do this, let's design some stuff, let's print it, let's make more toys since Hasbro isn't doing it. I mean, that was one of the largest factors into me wanting to get into 3D printing, was wanting to design my own toys, and that is being fed by the lack of toys coming out from Hasbro. And there are third-party companies that are picking up the slack as far as the figure end of things go. Companies like Marauder Task Force and stuff like that, they're making the 4-inch action figures that are articulated and really cool and easy for customizers to get in and customize. But there are no third-party companies out there making vehicles. So I'm like, I want to design some and print them, and then I want to share those designs with anybody who wants a 3D printer, owns a 3D printer, can print those vehicles and continue to pump new stuff into their collection and new stuff into their imagination and help keep a brand that the company that owns it doesn't care about alive. So yeah, so I was sharing the progress as I was printing stuff out with them. You guys still there? You all get quiet on me. Am I still working? Am I still streaming? Or are you all staring at a frozen screen right now? Or did I just get that boring? I'm sorry. I squirreled off on toys. I can do that real easy. Whenever I think about Walter and him getting squirreled off on stuff, I always think about the dog from the Disney movie Up, the Pixar movie Up. Squirrel! Hi there. But you know, I think everybody who gets into 3D printing, for whatever reason, it's because they have a passion for something. Um, some people it's the passion for 3D printing itself, but other people like me, it's a passion for toys and the collection of toys, and I want to design and keep pumping out stuff for a brand that is dying, you know, and that passion led me to pursue 3D printing, which I enjoy now, you know, as well. Brian Vines has a passion for melting plastic. As long as you aren't going to tell me you're one of those guys who stick firecrackers in your GI Joes and blow them up. Yeah, there you go. And I love your Johnny Five, Don, and I love that movie. No disassemble. Well, model cars, that's okay. They're going to keep making those. I get saddened when I think about, since GI Joe doesn't seem to be coming out with anything new, all the GI Joes over the years that have been lost and destroyed and everything, and I'm like, they're just gone now. And there's Hasbro seems to be continuing down a path that will eventually lead to no more GI Joes. Now maybe the next movie they have slated, we'll get some toys to come out to go with it, and maybe it'll revitalize the brand, but we'll see. But the last movies, both the movies that they did were so bad, so bad. I just want to tell Hollywood to leave my childhood alone unless you're going to do it right. All right, well, it's getting to be almost 4 o'clock, and my wife will be home in about a half an hour. I've got my stream tonight, my music stream. So if anybody wants to tune in and is a country music fan at all, that will happen at 8 o'clock, so here in 4 hours, on my Facebook page. So Ricky Lee Tanner Music on Facebook. And do a Facebook live stream every Wednesday, 8 p.m. For about an hour or so. I will take requests and play some music. So if anybody is down for that in 4 hours, tune in, and I'll see you guys then. I appreciate you guys stopping in, hanging out. It looks like we had a pretty successful stream. I'm going to look into more of the encoder stuff to see if there's anything at all I can do with the equipment I presently have to make it better. And otherwise, I think you know, I'll be looking for a graphics card. Red Light will let me know if he's got something that can help, and if he does, great. If he doesn't, I will get a hold of it one way or another. Thank you all so much for stopping in. Thank you for hanging with me today. I love you guys. I'm glad you guys can, you know, join me on this crazy adventure, and I look forward to hanging with you guys some more. I'll probably see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully Walter's got morning coffee back going. So yeah, thanks everybody, and we'll see you on the next one.